Let's get to Heather Mullins with Real America's Voice. Heather, also a contributor to GeorgiaStarNews.com. And Heather is live at the hearing, our person there on the ground. Heather, welcome. Can you give us an update, Heather?
Well, thank you, John. And I was just listening to Nancy talk on your show, and I have to say, Governor Kemp, speaking of PPE, we have a pretty problematic election according to what's going on here at the Senate hearing today. So I think you should be focused on that PPE, if you ask me. We actually just heard this woman that went up and testified from Coffee County, and she said in front of the subcommittee that they rescanned their 15,000 ballots 5 times using these machines and got 5 different numbers. You can't make this up, John.
Let me get this straight. They rescanned the ballots 5 times, and they got 5 different results.
5 different results, and then the same woman testified that out of 6 of 8 counties had reached out to her saying the Secretary of State pressured them, even though they had similar issues, pressured them and intimidated them to certify their results anyway.
Wow. So what were can you give us, what were the counties where Raffensperger intimidated them into certifying bad results?
So funny, because I went and tried to grab her right when she had walked out of the room. So she's going to get that information for me, but at this point in time, I don't know for sure those 8 counties. She was from Coffee County. And now there's another guy that's testifying right now about the Arlo system that was used in the risk-limiting audit and a bunch of the issues with that, which is separate from Dominion. And so he's basically asserting that this Arlo system was brought in by the Secretary of State's office to basically make it so all the Dominion numbers match. So, he's testifying right now. We'll figure out a little more about what he's going to say. Rudy Giuliani is supposed to be coming here as well. But here's the thing, is that you're hearing all this testimony, but nothing's getting done. And this is what's, concerning for me, is that we have all these people coming forward, talking about all these problems, talking about the issues with Dominion, but then they're all saying that they reach out to the Secretary of State's office and nothing gets done. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. And in fact, I actually asked one of the people there, I was like, is there any way I can testify? Because I got a lot of questions and a lot of information too. Mm-hmm. When you look at what happened in Floyd County with their hand count, finding thousands of ballots, well, Brad Raffensperger said, hey, we want the election board chief to be fired. We want him out of there. Okay, well, what about that Dominion clerk, the one that was probably more responsible for what happened? Where are the Dominion people being called to testify? Because they're the ones that actually know what they're doing, so all of these problems fall on them. And in Floyd County, that Dominion clerk, if you remember, was Kamala Harris's campaign photographer and went about on social media calling the president a white supremacist. So, okay, let's bring this guy in for questioning.
Unbelievable.
I mean, those are my 2 cents.
So when they said Heather Mullins with us, by the way, news reporter for Real America Voice. Go to realamericasvoice.news. You can get her there. Also, she's a contributor with Georgia Star News. Go to georgiastarnews.com, and she's live at the hearing in the Georgia Senate right now. So when they said in Coffee County, they were 0 for 5. Five fed in, 5 different results. Did they say what the results were? Were they skewed to Biden?
They didn't go into too much detail about that. They did say that they did not certify their results after the recount, so it's unclear now whether or not Coffee County even counted toward the entire election. And that's actually what one of the attorneys that was representing her on behalf of the Trump campaign had asked her in the room. And they're also saying that they're having to protect these people because there's been some intimidation. Like, people like her that are coming forward with all of these things, like other members in the Secretary of State's office, are intimidating people not to come forward with this stuff. So it's pretty crazy what's going on here in Georgia.
Heather Mullins, define for us the level of intimidation that you've heard.
I mean, that I've heard from, there's different situations. I actually met someone here today who actually, I got to follow up on this, so I haven't authenticated it or talked to this person, but it was another, indie journalist here that said he spoke with a woman who came forward with information, and her house was recently shot up. So that's a pretty big claim. I do plan on looking into that lead.
Plus, we had the 2 poll workers, the two election workers, Susie Voiles and I forget the other young lady's name, that have been there for 20 and 10 years respectively, who came forward with an affidavit and got fired.
Yes, and well, interesting enough, I actually spoke with Susan today, and she said that Brad Raffensperger apparently held a press conference on her behalf, saying that they should reinstate her job, but won't return any of her phone calls, won't talk to her. So I kind of wonder if he's just doing it to save face, because, like, okay, so you won't return her phone calls, you won't reach out to her, but you'll go in front of a news camera and say, hey, it wasn't my choice. Please give her back her job, but don't actually do anything about it.
Yeah, because he doesn't really care. He just needs to cover his butt politically, and that's all he does. 8 counties, the lady from Coffee County said 8 counties were intimidated, in her judgment, into certifying votes that shouldn't have been certified. Who was that lady that was testifying from Coffee County? What was her title?
Oh, God. That's a great question. Sorry.
You can just get that to me later.
I'm meeting a lot of these people
get that
for
to
the
me
first
later.
time, so that's why I'm handing all my business cards out to everyone testifying. So
get that to me, because I'll go on Bannon later, and I want that. But yes, you're doing a hell of a job there, Heather, and thank you.